Welcome again. In this video, I am going to go over a typical unit that you will experience during the life of this course. Now let me emphasize that every section of the course is different, and so what you see in this video may not be exactly what you see in your section of the course. Also, every unit is slightly different, so it's important for you to look through each unit to make sure that you complete all of the work on time. When you first enter the course, you will come to the course homepage. The course homepage has announcements, which you can expand to read and find what's going on in the course. So if you see new announcements, be sure to read those. If your instructor subscribes to the service, you may also see a feed of short reminders from the Remind.com service. You can receive this feed as SMS or text messages on your smartphone. Instructions on how to sign up will be given in the syllabus. Finally, at the bottom of the introduction page is a course checklist. This is a checklist for you to see what assignments are upcoming and when they will be due. And so, as you can see on here, different units have different due dates. Some instructors will have different parts of units due on different dates. It is your responsibility to make sure that you know when each assignment is due. So as I said, we will go into a typical unit. For this one, I'm going to go into Unit 4. You will not be able to access a unit until it opens. So if you see a unit on your page, then you should definitely enter and see what assignments there are and when they are due. A typical unit will have an introduction along with things that you should learn during the unit, some activities and resources such as videos and audio content that will go along with the unit, and finally a listing of assignments. Now you do not need to do the assignments in the order that they are listed. However, I would strongly encourage you to do them in this order. We start off with some reading. I would encourage you, when you first read the textbook, don't try and read it like a novel, reading from cover to cover and expecting one continuous story. That's not the way that science textbooks are written. Instead, the first time you go into an assignment, skim through the assigned reading, the chapter or the sections. Look at the pictures, look at the graphs, look at section headings, look at bold vocabulary words, look at the end of chapter summary. Just try to get a feel for some of the topics that we're going to be learning about, even if you don't fully understand them. Next come the mini lectures. The mini lectures are a series of YouTube videos, 10 to 15 minutes in length, that will cover one or at most two basic concepts that are important in this unit. So for example, we will go to mini lecture 1, and you notice it will open within eCollege, and you can see the YouTube video embedded, or you can go to the YouTube link if you would prefer to watch it on another medium such as your tablet. Once you are done watching the video, there is a response. Now this response is not graded. The response usually consists of a short number of multiple choice questions to see if you have picked up on the important concepts during the mini lecture. Some of these questions will be simple, some will be quite difficult. The goal of these response questions is not for you to necessarily get them all right, but to try the reasoning and the logic that we have learned during the chapter to try and find the right answers. So you can put in answers that may be correct or incorrect, and if you submit this for grading, it will come back with your score saying that, oh look, you got 2 right. Don't worry about the points received. This test is not graded. This is for your own learning. So what you can do then is you can go back and retake the assignment, redo the questions, and try again. If you'd like to know which questions you got correct, you can enter through the gradebook and see the correct answer, your answer, and reasoning for the answer that you gave. Back to the unit homepage. Once you have watched all the mini lectures, then I encourage you to reread the reading assignment. And this time, take time to read through, pay attention to topics that you saw in the mini lecture, because topics that appear in both the reading and the mini lecture are likely important ones that will be covered on homework assignments and on the exam. Once you have done the reading, go ahead and go to the reading quiz, which is available on SmartWork. Now this is a timed quiz. Once you go to SmartWork and log on to a reading quiz for a unit, you have only a set amount of time, about 5 minutes, to complete the quiz. If you exit SmartWork and come back later, your time will have expired and you will not get another opportunity to take the quiz. Now this quiz is on very basic concepts. The purpose of the quiz is for your instructor and you to see if you are getting the basic ideas that are contained in the unit. After the reading quiz, there will usually be a discussion section. You can access the discussion either through the link under the assignment listing or from the link in the menu on the left. If you go to the discussion, a list of topics will appear. You must complete all topics that are listed in order to earn full credit on each unit's discussion section. So you see that there are 2 topics here. The first one is on thermal imaging. You notice that there are several bullet points that I would like you to address in your answer. And I also state that after you post your response, you need to find another response and post a reply to that student's response. You will not see other students' responses until you have posted your own. Every unit also has a topic where you need to ask a question about the material in this unit. You must complete this in each unit to earn full credit on your discussion. If you see another student's question that you feel you know the answer to, feel free to respond to that person. You are not required to, but I am unable to respond to every single question, and so if you can help each other out, that's all the better. Back to the unit homepage. In some units, there will be a Stellarium activity. Stellarium is explained under Unit 1 when you do the first Stellarium activity, but it's a way for you to learn some of the constellations in the night sky via your computer. The Stellarium activities have YouTube videos to help you both learn these constellations, to find them in the sky, and to learn a little bit about the constellation and some of the mythology behind the constellations. If you go to the link in the left-hand menu that says Stellarium Activity, you will see a version of the activity that has been converted to a web page by eCollege. Typically, this conversion is done very poorly, and so I discourage you from using this menu link. However, if it is the only way you can access the activity, that's okay. Most of the time, for Stellarium activities, I'd encourage you to go to Doc Sharing, and you notice that there are 2 types of Stellarium files. You can either get PDF versions, which will open in Adobe Acrobat or Adobe Reader, or you can get a Word file if you would prefer to type it in Microsoft Word. My suggestion would be to go to the PDF files, find the appropriate season. The season is mentioned in the unit. In this particular unit, I assigned the summer sky. So you can click download the PDF, and when you open the PDF, print it out. Write your answers on the paper with pen, and then either scan your PDF back in or take pictures of it with your cell phone and put the scanned document into the Dropbox. You notice that there's a Dropbox for each of the seasons and for the introduction under Unit 1. Once you place your Stellarium activity there, then you can consider that it's turned in and that we will be able to grade it. If you're going to take pictures of your completed homework, there is an app called Cam Scanner. This Cam Scanner app, the link is in the Stellarium packet, and it can take individual images from your cell phone, combine them into a single PDF document which you can then upload onto eCollege. I would prefer that you use that method if you're going to be taking pictures of your completed work, just because it leaves me with a single file to grade. Back to our unit homepage. After the Stellarium activity, you see the final activity most weeks is the homework. The homework is available through SmartWork. There are videos on how to subscribe to SmartWork, how to register for the class, and how to complete activities there. The homeworks are not timed, so you can begin a problem, leave the homework, come back later, come back even another day, and pick up where you left off. When you are completely finished with your homework, be sure to click on the Record My Grade button. If you do not click on the Record My Grade button, you are at risk for having the homework recorded as being completed late. Do not click on Record My Grade until you are completely done with the assignment. Sometimes the questions take a long time to load, especially if they have pictures or drag and drop type questions. Please give it plenty of time to load. It's a feature of the homework system, not of your personal computer. Be patient. If the pictures never come up, remember you can always close the window and come back in and pick up right where you left off. So now you've seen a typical unit. As I mentioned, individual units will vary. Be sure to follow the instructions in each unit, complete all the assignments in each unit, and while you're not guaranteed to have a great grade in the class, I strongly suspect you will be doing very well. Thanks for your attention, and please contact your instructor if you have any questions about this introduction or how the course works.